Hello, this is Ashee from Crafting with Ashee and welcome to this card making tutorial. This is a lovely congrats card we're making today. Isn't it lovely and floral and bright and happy? And this features two stamp sets from Stampin' Up. The sentiment is from Simple Congrats and the stamp set is a great one called Extraordinary Flora. Now this stamp set has a matching die and there is also actually a matching washi tape. Now when I was making this video I didn't have the washi tape yet, but the dies will cut out just as the stamps and will cut out the washi tape. So don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel because you will see a wonderful card coming up using the washi tape and the dies. And I don't think I've ever seen before a washi tape that cuts, a die set that cuts out the washi tape. So here you can see we're about to do some stamping. Now the stamps are all one stamp set. You can see here it's just one stamp for all of these different florals, but when you use the die it cuts out all the individual florals. Absolutely so easy to stamp. It's great. You can do a lot all in one go. So we're going to be stamping our florals using Memento Tuxedo Black because we're going to be colouring in using the Stampin' Blend alcohol markers. So let's give that a good really ink up, and I've got everything set up here in my stamping tool just for ease because it's such a big stamp. So I'm going to give that a little press down. Get my tool out here just to give it help me to get some welly there and give it a good press. And then I'm having a look at it and let's see, I think I'm going to give it one more ink up for luck. I'm just going to go over it again, and this is the beauty of using a stamping tool. Usually you can ink it up more than once just to make sure you get a nice clean crisp image. So give that another little press. There we go. So I'm going to give that a bit of a clean now using the simple chamois. Can't stamp without this thing. Absolutely fabulous bit of tool. Really essential part of my crafting kit. Well, let's put this away back in its little home, and you can see there how big that sentiment really, how big that stamp set really is. Right, time to stamp our sentiment, which is obviously congrats. So I'm going to put that on a piece of paper here, and this is just some scrap basic white cardstock. I tend to always stamp on basic white cardstock. You can stamp on our coloured cardstocks as well, but my preference is usually to go for basic white. Alright, so there we go. Now we're going to stamp this in some Summer Splash ink, and you can see I've got it everywhere. Why not? And just going to give that a little press down as well. Make sure I get a good crisp image. Yeah, a little bit more. And let's close up that ink pad before we stick something in it, because you can see it's a nice and juicy ink pad because I made an absolute mess of everything. And look at that, simple chamois cleans it all up and you wouldn't know that I had ink all over the show. So cool. There we are. So let's stick that back and let's tidy up a little bit. Let's take the stamp set out of my stamping tool. I like to put my stamp sets away, stamps back in the little home straight away. Otherwise you tend to have orphan stamps and there's no hope that I'll ever remember where it's meant to go. So put stuff away straight away, then I don't hit that problem. Right, time for some colouring. So we are going to be colouring these in, as I said, using the Stampin' Blend alcohol markers, and you can see here I'm getting them, and I'm just going through my colours here. I've got some Pool Party, some Summer Splash, Lost Lagoon, Melon Mambo, Pretty in Pink, and we're going to be using a mixture of these to give our card some beautiful florals. Right, so let's start now. And I think here I'm going with my melon mambo. I do love the combination of melon mambo and summer splash. I think they just go so well together. I'm just colouring it all, and I keep it very monochromatic in that all my flowers are going to be the same colour, all my foliage is going to be the same colour, so there's not a huge change. And I tend to like the flowers all to be the same colour. Even when I'm in the garden, if I've got a tub, I tend to like have all the same colour in the tub. So I've planted some huge tubs of busy lilies. So there's like 6 or 7 flower plants in each tub, and they're all pink. I mean, and they're coming to flower now. I'm actually filming this just at the end of June, so but this is not, so you'll see. I think this is going out in a few weeks' time, but they're absolutely in full flower, and they just look lovely. Just this massive pink all over the garden, and I think that's what inspired me to make this card this way. I do like to have just one colour. I think that's just that one big pop of colour is just so effective. And so now I'm going to go with my deeper colour. You saw that I went in just with my lighter colour. Now I'm going with the deeper one, and this is just going to add some shadows and accents wherever I want them, and then I can blend out. So here I'm going in with my lighter pink, which is petal pink, and I'm just darkening up some areas here. So I've got a mixture of pinks here. I've got the lighter petal pink, and then I've got the darker melon mambo. When it comes to the final card, you see I don't use all of the foliage and all of the florals that I've actually coloured in. Some of that I'll save for another day. Okay, here, so for the leaves, I didn't really want to bring in a green like granny apple green or lemon lime twist or garden green or something like this, because I felt it would just clash with the summer splash of the congratulations. So I decided to rather use here, as you can see, I'm using Pool Party, and if I need any deepening of colour I'll use my Lost Lagoon, but I tend to just go with the Pool Party, and I actually think it works really well to sometimes just go out your comfort zone, use something you're not used to, a different combination of colours. And I think the Pool Party, because it's a tone, a very much a lighter tone of the summer splash in a way, it just works really well together. And of course the pink works, because I mean for me pink and green, pink and blue are colours I always put together, so that does work indeed. Now you can see here me just adding in some details with my darker Pool Party, just giving it a little bit of definition. Not always so easy to see on the camera because it's such a light colour that the camera tends to wash some of it out, but if you head over to my blog post you'll see all the still shots there, and you'll be able to see in more detail these beautiful cards. So if you want the supply list, the measurements, etc., anything like that, you'll find it all on the blog post as well, and you'll find that listed and linked in the description box below. So now I'm going to cut these florals out using the matching die, and I'm just showing you that there. And I'm going to cut out the sentiment as well, and as if by magic it's all been done, and there's my sentiment cut out just using my trimmer. So now we're ready to make our card. So our card base here is Melon Mambo. So this is a standard 80s card base. That's an A4 sheet cut in half and then folded in half. Then I've got a piece here of basic white that measures 14.35 centimeters by 10, and I'm just going to put on top of that piece of the designer series paper, and this is just one of a piece from the family stack, and then I'm just going to layer all of this up on the front of the card. Now, as I was saying, all these supplies and measurements are on the blog post, and you can find that linked in the description box below. So here I'm just going to pop up my congratulations on a spare piece of Melon Mambo cardstock, and you can see we're just doing that there. And I'm going to use my scissors just to cut around that, making sure I leave a little bit of a border. And I find if I use the scissors with a longer blade, it's easier for me to cut straight, or that's what I keep telling myself anyway. So there we go. So there's my congratulations. So now I want to pop this up on some foam. You could use some foam adhesive, a sheet, which we do sell. I don't have any with me, so I'm just using this foam, which unfortunately doesn't have any sticky. So I have to put sticky on the one side. And so I'm just going to use my seal here. Really good strong adhesive is the seal. And then I'm going to put down my foam, and I have to put more sticky on that as well. And there we go. Much easier if you just use our foam adhesive sheets, but as I said, they were downstairs and I was filming upstairs in the spare room. Right, time to arrange our florals. Now some of these I'm going to lay flat just with glue, and some of these I'm going to pop up using some dimensionals. So I'm just arranging things here however I maybe think I want them. You can see here me using dimensionals on the base, and then I've just put a bit of glue on the top, so now it will lay flat against that congratulations sentiment. And then I'm doing the same here for this one as well. Just add a bit of glue to one side and a dimensional on the other, and I'm pretty much following my arrangement of flowers from my original card, which is why it looks like as if I know exactly what I'm doing when I don't. Okay, so you can still see me faffing a bit. Put a bit of glue in there, tug it in, and then I want something on the opposite side of my congratulations sentiment, so I'm just having a look through my bits to see what I've got. I'm happy with that, so let's stick that down, and let's add this one on top. Now I should say this is a card we made in my card club. I host a monthly card club both online and in person. This was a card we made in person. So I host a monthly card club in North Lincoln in the UK. So if you're local to the area and you would like to join us, head over to my website and you'll find all the booking details there. I'd love you to come and join our little happy band of crafters. We have a lot of fun. We learn new skills, new techniques. I mean, of course you get to play with all of my stamps and my inks and everything. So do come and join us for that. You would be most welcome. There we go. There's our little congratulations. And I've just got my florals on a little diagonal. So now it's time for some bling. And to do that I am going to use, you could use some rhinestones, you could use whatever really you want, it's up to you. And I'm going through what I've got here, and I do end up with the rhinestones. And I'm just going to use these as my little flower centres here. So I'm just using my little pokey tool to lift them up, and I'm going back to my original one here, and I'm also adding some rhinestones there because I'd meant to add them and I'd forgotten, and so now when I saw them I thought, no, I want rhinestones there as well. So there are our two congratulations cards, two sort of colour variants you can see. You can tell me which you prefer. Thank you for joining me today for this card making tutorial featuring the simple congrats and extraordinary floral stamp sets. And until next time, enjoy being creative. Bye.